you sure it's him? We called Gotham PD. He hasn't been seen for over a year.
What was that?
Disappeared, they said.
They thought he might be dead.
Why come here? Why Detroit?
The weather? Where's Batman? Hey, little birdie's alone.
Let's just hope the hell he's passing through.
I'm Detective Dick Grayson. You want to talk about what happened?
Can you help me?
Mom?
Rachel, that's what she calls him.
There's something inside of me. Something evil.
Nothing bad's gonna happen to you, don't worry.
Taking care of a kid is complicated. You know that better than anyone. I know how healing it must be doing what Bruce did for you when you lost your parents. What happened between you and Bruce?
Guess we had different ideas of how to do the job. We're gonna go see some old friends of mine. Ta-da! Oh my God.
Rachel, I like your hair.
Call me Corey.
What do you want from me?
I've been looking for you. There are people out there trying to hurt you.
Total badass.
I feel danger.
There you are, dear.
What are you doing?
We all must make sacrifices, child.
Does it ever go away?
What?
The feeling you got left behind?
What's going on, guys? So right there you just saw the #2 trailer for the Titans show that will be on the DC Universe Network, and by surprise, after watching it, it is going to be on Netflix to international audiences. So if you are not in the United States and you are somebody that wanted to watch these shows, you're going to be able to do that on Netflix, which I think is pretty awesome. But this is a breakdown video, so let's go ahead and start dissecting this video and seeing some of the cool stuff that might be happening in Titans. Now, the first 30 seconds of this trailer are kind of a mixture of things we've already seen before, because we have seen the whole Robin fight scene in the alleyway. It's the infamous, you know, F Batman scene. And on top of that, we're getting a narration of Robin being seen in Detroit, which is not Bloodhaven. If you don't know anything about the comic books, when Nightwing leaves Gotham, he goes to a place called Bloodhaven, and it's just supposed to be a smaller city. So I think instead of, you know, Gotham's supposed to be New York, they're going to use Detroit as Bloodhaven and just not call it Bloodhaven, which might just be a little bit easier for those people that are really not really into comic book shows, but they can understand, like, oh, he's in this city. So basically, we're just seeing the police force react to a, you know, Bat family member being in their city, and they're hoping that they're just passing through. The funny thing about this scene is Dick Grayson is that person, and he's on the police force as a detective. Moving on, the next thing we see is Dick Grayson meeting Raven for what seems to be the first time, because there's no familiarity there. So it's kind of like something happened with her, and he's gonna question her because, you know, he's a detective. And we see that in these next scenes. It looks like somebody went to go capture her, threatened her mom or something like that. Her powers came out, and it created this whole crime scene. I'm pretty sure neighbors called the cops or something like that, and the cops showed up. And then we kind of saw this in the first trailer. Raven starts talking to Dick Grayson like, I need your help, can you help me? You know, like the boy from the circus, blah, blah. Like, she's seen who Dick Grayson is, and that's more than likely why he's gonna take an interest in her and try to help her out. And then we got this scene of Dick Grayson saying he's gonna help her. They're in a cafe, and then you see him talking to another woman, and that woman is Dove from Hawk and Dove, which is gonna be the duo of, I believe they're lovers in this series, and they're going to be fighting alongside the Titans as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see where they're going to play or how they're going to play into this, because it doesn't show them in any of the group scenes. So I don't know if they're going to technically join the Titans or if they're just going to be two other vigilantes in the world that the Titans are. But with this scene of Dick Grayson actually talking to Dove, it does seem like they are friends because she knows about his past and she says that taking care of a kid is hard, and he's, you know how that is with Bruce Wayne taking care of you. Which leads to probably some of the coolest scenes in this trailer, where Dick Grayson is shown going to Wayne Manor, and then we see him opening up a door, there's a bunch of cars there, and then we have this one scene of somebody looking outside a window, which is more than likely Bruce Wayne. Now the cool thing about this is there have been photos that have been leaked saying that Batman is actually going to be in Titans. We don't know if he's going to actually have a full-blown, like, I'm Batman, and show up in the show, or if he's going to be one of those characters that's in the background and he has the shadows. There were these photos right here of the bat symbol, or I should say the bat signal, and then this, prototype version of the bat suit, which doesn't look that great, is why I'm kind of thinking that we might get like a shadowy Batman kind of figure where he's silhouetted, you don't really get to see the suit, so they're able to just make a low-end suit and have him just in the background where you don't see him, because I do still think that WB probably wants to keep Batman off of their shows, but since you are dealing with Robin, you have to have Batman in here at some point. And they are he's part of the story. Like, he has to be in the story because Robin is literally saying in the next scene that we just had a different way of doing things. So it should be pretty interesting to see how involved Batman is going to be in this first season of Titans. So the next few scenes are Robin telling Raven that we're actually going to go see some friends of mine. And then it shows, Beast Boy transforming for the first time. It shows Corey there, or I should say Starfire if you don't know her real name. And it just kind of like sees like, oh yeah, they're my old friends. But I want to say this might be some clever editing, because in other trailers, if you guys didn't see my last video where there were just like snippets of like the characters by themselves, it doesn't seem like Dick Grayson knows too much about Starfire or Beast Boy, so it'd be kind of weird for him to be like, let's go visit some old friends of mine. So my theory is that when he says that, they're actually going to go visit Hawk and Dove, and that's when you get that scene of Dove talking to Dick Grayson as like, hey, it's really hard to take care of a kid, blah, 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 blah. Because at the same time, I believe this is going to be the formation of the Titans, not so much like, oh, we were a team back in the day, and now we're coming back together. Although that could make sense because, more than likely Robin was in the Teen Titans, and then these guys are going to be the Titans. But I don't know, I still think that they are going to form the team on this show, opposed to actually just having like, oh, we were all friends back in the day, and now we're just gonna, team up together again. Then this cute little scene here in the arcade, we get kind of a little bit of flirtation going on between Beast Boy and Raven. They're kind of like introducing themselves and saying like, I like your hair and stuff like that. If you guys don't know about the Teen Titans show or the comics, there has also been like this little romance going on between these two characters. So that's kind of cool that they're foreshadowing that in this show. Now these next few scenes are with Raven and Starfire, and it seems like Starfire is trying to protect Raven from some bad guys. Now this could be the huge overall story here. It's what I'm getting from these trailers, is that the Titans are going to be trying to help Raven, trying to either get her powers under control or try to save her from these people that are trying to take her. And we do see in these scenes that Starfire says she's been looking for her and that bad people are searching for her. So she's basically trying to protect her from these bad people, which I think Starfire has had run-ins with these bad people before. She knows what they're all about, and she knows what they're going to try to put Raven through, so she's going to try to protect her at all costs. We kind of get to see Starfire in action for a little bit, and then we get these creepy people show up to find Raven in this little shed or something like that, and then they kind of take her to this place, I'm assuming, which is going to be where they're going to try to experiment on her. Now, Raven does ask these two nuns, like, what are you doing? And these nuns just say, we all have to make sacrifices, child. Now, at the top of my head, I don't remember any factions or any crazy villains or anything like that that have to do with nuns. I mean, that could be like the Order of Saint Dumas and stuff like that, which was Azrael, but I don't think that's what they're going to be doing in this show, so I'm not too sure who it could be. I haven't looked up if they've announced the villain just yet in the series, but it is going to be pretty interesting to see where they're going with this whole angle of religion, but also, I guess, I don't know, they could be religious people that hate metahumans, which would be pretty interesting to see if that is the angle, but we'll have to wait and see on who the big villain is going to be in this series. Then we just get some Starfire and Raven kind of showing off their powers kind of things going on. Then we get a cool little fight scene with Hawk and Dove. Again, like I said, the other two superheroes that are going to be in this show. And then in this scene, it seems like Raven is being saved by Beast Boy. I like that he transforms really quickly and it's not like a like he's got to freaking, you know, wait for like 20 minutes to transform. I like that it's instantaneous. Like he can just like, freaking tiger, bitch, and then just throw somebody. So I think that's going to be really cool to see in this show. We get a little bit more fight scenes from Robin, followed by a little team photo shoot right here. We got Starfire hitting a guy across the room, and then we have Raven talking to Dick Grayson, saying if the feeling ever goes away of being left behind. Then we got this little car chase going on, which is more than likely Dick Grayson being chased by the cops because he has Raven in his custody. We got some more random scenes happening here, followed by this scene of what looks like all these birds and everything just starting to go to a certain area. And what I think is going to happen here is that, you know, Raven has been captured and the team doesn't know what to do, so she's sending off this big force or this big just, you know, crazy event happening, and that's going to lead all of the stuff to that area, and that's where the team's going to find her because she's using so much of her power and everything's just being drawn to that power. Then we got a quick little love scene going on here between Starfire and Robin. And the trailer just ends with some just random little action scenes of craziness, and that's pretty much it. And then you see the Titans is going to be on Netflix for international audiences, which again, I think is pretty awesome. So that is pretty much everything in the Titans trailer. Like I said, I haven't looked into too much of who the villain's going to be, but I have seen the photos from what is more than likely going to be somewhat of a Batman cameo. I still don't think that they're going to show Batman on the show like Superman was shown on Supergirl. I feel like they're going to keep him more in the shadows, but we'll have to wait and see when this show comes out. In what, like 10 days or something like that? It comes out pretty soon. I know it premieres in a few days at New York Comic Con, and then we'll see it later on the, you know, freaking DC Universe Network. So I'm gonna be excited to see what happens with this show. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this trailer, what you think is gonna happen in the series in the comment sections down below. Remember, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, please do go check those out. Give them some love, give them some likes. Also, hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember to wake up in the morning and ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye.